Hi, family and friends. Happy Saturday to you. Hope you're having the best start to your day. If not, you know what I say, right? Always. I always say this, find joy within your day. I am doing something a little bit different today, more than I ordinarily would do, because I normally come bringing to you season's greetings from Healing as Joy Speaks, but today we're going to be doing something just a little bit different. When you come in, let me know that you're here so that I can acknowledge you. Shout out to my son who always pours into me. Thank you, son, for tuning in. My sister in Florida. Thank you so much for tuning in. And of course, my ride or die always, who stands behind me, stands with me, stands in solidarity with me. Just thank you so much. Hey, cousin. Thank you so much for your love and your support. I'm going to go ahead and start off by telling you all this off the cuff. This show is going to be raw, real. It is intended to give you all information in real time about what is happening because I do want to give you guys real-time information about my health and wellness. But this is also a Q&A spot for you to ask any questions that you may have for me. If there's something specific that you want to say to me, something specific that you want to ask me, now is your opportunity to do so. Because after today, this platform will be shut down and I will be doing everything that is needed for self preservation. What does that look like? That looks like I'm not going to be answering a whole lot more other additional questions other than very basic standard questions of how you doing, how you feeling, how's your kids doing, how's your spouse doing. As it relates to the medical side, I will give you updates in increments because it's just going to be easier for my mental capacity and faculty, and it's going to actually be easier for my family as well too because my family has a lot on their plate, and I don't want to add to that. If I don't have to add to that, I don't want to add to that. And so we're going to talk a little bit about the health update. We're going to talk about my life update. We're going to talk about some updates relating to this show. And then we're going to give a space for you all to ask questions. If you think of questions, if you cannot wait to hold your question, please drop it in the box where the comments are. And then I will answer those questions when we get to that spot of the show. This is only going to be about 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, maybe a little bit between 15 to 20 minutes. I don't anticipate this being longer than that. I do also want to apologize to you in advance that we actually have someone working on our internet as we are doing this live taping. So if there comes points where I get spotty or you cannot hear me or you may need me to repeat something, feel free to please say to repeat it or that we lost you for a minute because again, I can't control the elements outside. I can only control what's going on the inside of the house. Okay, so when we left off last season, I was trying to decide if I was going to come back for a fourth season. As you all know, it's not a secret. I've never hid it from you all. I have been going through metastatic breast cancer for now all of 5 years. It has been a challenging 5 years to say the least in terms of treatment, in terms of pain level, in terms of all the things. I put on a brave face for you all, but if I'm being honest, there are more days where I am uncomfortable, in pain, and frustrated about that than probably anything else. But I also know that part of the journey in healing and me going through what I'm going through is that I have to go through pain. As I talked about before, and I've always said this, is that you can't have the beautiful things that you have in nature without going through rain. You need rain to be able to be a purifier, a nourisher of the earth, of everything that's happening around you. So, when we complain about our circumstances and our situations and our problems, God says to us, well, how do you expect to metamorphosize and be the beautiful thing that you are if you don't go through some uncomfortability? How does a diamond become a beautiful diamond without going through fire and pressure? So you're going to have to go through fire and pressure. You're no exception to the rule. And so I've had plenty of fire and pressure within this last year. So much and so that in August of last year, I had a biopsy. And it was determined at that biopsy in August that there were malignant cells that were inside of my liver. The metastatic part of all of this is that when you have metastatic disease, it can transfer from one particular place to another particular place. So in my case, it went from breast to bone to organ. And that is very uncommon when it comes to the metastatic disease and how it metamorphosizes and transforms. And so at that time in August, I was told that I would have to be put on chemo. I started two different forms, two different variations of chemo. It worked well for the bones, but it did not like my liver. My liver did not like it too much. And so we decided to stop the course and change course again. So we changed to a different chemo, and that chemo liked, my liver did like that chemo, and the bones did also like that chemo. But my feet did not like it too much. The neuropathy did not like it too much. So, at the advisement of my doctor in December, we decided to stop all treatment. And so in December, I wasn't doing anything until literally yesterday. And my doctor decided, with my support, that we would start looking at other options, including clinical trials. And if you don't know much about clinical trials, if you don't have anybody in your household or maybe in your bubble that knows anything about clinical trials are medications that are not approved by the FDA. They are medicines that are actually in process of being either approved or disapproved from the FDA, and that are showing efficacy as it relates to medication. And so a lot of times what they do is they get groups of people together and they run different tests to see the efficacy of medication. And by the way, let me also say this too. I have someone that I'm looking at around the laptop. So just know that, if it looks like I'm looking over the laptop, it's because I'm looking at someone else. Okay. But all that to be said, the medications that we have are not approved by the FDA. Most of these medicines that you do through clinical trial are not approved through the FDA. And so, with that being said, I made the decision to decide to try to do clinical trials. The reason being, if I'm just being honest, is because I wanted to know that there's other medicines out there that are specific to subtypes that people are going through as it relates to cancer. Cancer is not a one size fits all. There's not just one chemo for one type of cancer. Sometimes there's multiple different types of chemo, there's multiple different types of medications when it comes to cancer. And so, you know, when people say to you, well, why did they put you on chemo? Well, chemo is not like how it was 10 to 15 or even 20 years ago. It's completely different. And so, with the advisement of my doctor, we decided to go through the process of being pre screened for clinical trials. I'm going to answer questions as they come. So, if you have questions, please drop them in a box and I will answer them during this segment of the show. Tasha asked, how long do you have to do clinical trials? Very good question. For this particular study that I am a part of, I will be a part of this clinical trial for 7 months. And I would go in every 21 days. I would do an infusion, and that infusion will determine whether or not it's helping towards the subtype of cancer that I have, or if it's harming and we need to start over. So this particular infusion is every 21 days. Some of them are 3 weeks and then you take 7 days off. Some of them are, once a month. It just depends upon the type of drug that you're using. But mine is for 7 months. And so I decided to go ahead and start the pre-screening for clinical trials, and I was selected for clinical trials. It was a lot that I had to go through. It was a very long process. There was a lot of tests that I had to do, and there was a lot of things that came up in terms of what I had to do to prepare for clinical trials. But I decided to go ahead and have a conversation with my family and do the pre-screening of it. And with the support of my family, as well as my prayer and just having a conversation with God and my doctors, we decided to go through clinical trial. So, yesterday was my first day of clinical trial. The drug that I am on, which I can actually say the drug because, it's not like it's a hidden secret, and eventually it will be passed um, through the FDA if they choose to pass it through the FDA. The medicine that I am on is called, sorry, y'all, I wasn't prepared for it. I was prepared, but not prepared. The medicine is called um, anti-oral, is ANTI EPHAE. I'm sorry, A5. I'm looking at the number and I'm saying E. So let me repeat it again. ANTI hyphen EPHA5. So that is the name because they can't give the drug a name just yet until it is passed through the FDA. Once it's passed through the FDA, then they can give it an actual name, like all the names that you see out there right now. Um, Hi, Lily. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you know someone that you think that needs to be a part of this show, please invite them in because, like I said, I'm going to give you all that I have. And then after today, I will no longer repeat this information so I can go on to my self preservation. Shout out to my ace who knows it's a lot of information. Yes, it's a lot of information all day long, but it's necessary information to give you to you all. And so, yes, I started clinical trials yesterday. Shout out to the nursing staff at Emory Winship who have been super supportive and super loving. Their bedside manner is spectacular, just like my actual doctor's office. And just everyone kind of surrounding me in love and making sure that I was taken care of. So, what does clinical trials looks like for me? Well, there's going to be some symptoms that may not come up, similar to going through chemo, things like nausea and vomiting, things like tiredness, things like neuropathy, just kind of some flu-like symptoms, things like that. It is also important to reference that this clinical trial that I'm a part of, that although there's a lot of people within the clinical trial, that 3 people have transitioned and passed away due to this clinical trial. 3 people who did not have the disease that I have, but unfortunately did have cancer, advanced progressive cancer, and did transition from this particular medication. I say all that to say that, there's risk with everything, right? So if I were to catch a cold right now and decide that I'm going to go take Robitussin versus Dayquil, there might be a risk in me taking Robitussin because I don't know if it can impact my heart versus me taking Dayquil where it won't. So there's risk in anything. But what I appreciate about this particular drug is that it was specific to the subtype of cancer which I have, which are solid tumors. I have solid tumors located throughout my body that are of metastatic disease. And so that's why I chose to do the clinical trial. Um, I won't say that it was the easiest decision. This decision took me over a month to make because I wasn't sure if I wanted to do clinical trials or if I wanted to go back to my old oncologist because I have trust with him and I've been with him for the last 5 years, or I'm sorry, 4 years. But it mattered to me that I try every potential procedure, process that's out there and give it a chance before I say, no, I don't want to do something. The beautiful part of all of this is if I don't like what I'm feeling when it comes to this drug medication, or if there's something that happens along the way, it is at my discretion to leave the clinical trial and I can go back to my doctor and resume whatever treatment he has for me. And so with that being said, it's been a very, like I said, long process. But what I'm grateful for is that I have the support of so many of you all who have called me, who have texted me, who have done so much. I can say shout out to my family that lives in Georgia, who have shown up in drones to support me, whether it's to help me maneuver baby girl around to where she needs to go, whether it's by buying me equipment and things that I need to be able to be functional. Simple things, shower chairs, my reclining chair, heating pads, Epsom salt. Shout out to just the attention to detail for people who have surrounded me in love to make sure I have what I need. I have also had that same question arise as well too, like Leah, what do you need? I'm going to tell you right now, I am a very prideful woman, and I'm learning to, in this season of self preservation, I'm also learning how to be a recipient because I don't know how to be a recipient of anything. I've always been the person that I try to make it happen. I try to do what I have to do. I don't like to complain. Don't like to whine and snivel. I don't like to ask. But one thing about being a prideful woman is that you will miss your blessing because someone is trying to bless you and you're being prideful in your ways. So if someone asks how they can support, the best way that they can support is by monetary donation. You can always send Cash App or Zelle. I have both. If you have my number, you can do either or. The other way that you can support, obviously, is through prayer, and just lifting me up, lifting up my family and all those that orbit around me and all those that are going through this actual disease itself. And just know that those things don't go unnoticed because they don't go unnoticed at all. But this healing journey has been very difficult and has been very challenging. Also, with that comes the fact that I have been told as of about a week ago that I'm no longer able to work. I am not and don't want to work. The doctors do not advise me to work because it is a hindrance more than it is a blessing to me. Because with me going into clinical trials, I have to be at their avail anytime they call me. If they see in my blood results, because they do vitals on me twice a month. So if I go into a doctor's office and they see something is off even by a little bit, I have to be available to go into a doctor's office and get checked and get pre-screened. So there is no, working full time if I do that. If I work full time, there doesn't allow me the space to be able to do that. I love you too, sis. I love you too. So I no longer am working full time, which means my only full time working person in the home right now is my spouse. And as you very well know, we are in an inflation situation. Everything is high, everything's expensive. I don't have to go there. If you're a parent or even if you're just an adult, if you're adulting right now, everything is high. And so we're doing the best that we can with that as well too. So I just tell you all to continue to lift us up the way that you can lift us up. If you feel the need that you want to do something on a tangible sense, you can. We'll never tell you no. We're grateful for all those that have already and that those that are willing to want to do so. And so I go back to what I said. I'll be in clinical trial for 7 months. I will be doing vitals twice a month unless they say something different. And I will just go on this journey to see if whether or not the experimental drug will shrink the tumors, which I am very optimistic that it will. I'm going to put optimism and faith out there that it will. What is my son saying to me? We believe in you and we know that the Lord has your back. Thank you, son. I appreciate your love. And I appreciate you having my back too. Even at Morehouse, still calling me, checking on me, still loving on me from where he's at, even though he's got his things going on. But just know that I'm here. But with that being here, I have decided at this point to say goodbye to Healing as Joy Speaks. And I did it with a heavy heart because, as you all know, I love podcasting. I love talking about healing and joy and the Lord and God and just his ways and all the things. But I also need to be intentional about taking a self step back for self and pouring into myself. I can't pour into you if I'm empty. So it's necessary that I fill my cup right now and restore myself so that I could be the bigger, better version for you all later. I am still doing advocacy work. I am still doing motivational speaking. And as of this morning, I am still on the trek of having both of my books published this year to be able to sell to you all, to offer to you all Stories of a Butterfly, as well as Yet Still I Rise. But I am going to take a step back from podcasting just because it's not something I need to carry right now. My advocacy work and the things that I'm doing in terms of other podcasts are doing well. Shout out to Susan G. Komen for putting me on to their vlog. You can actually check my vlog out on their website at komen.org. You can go to their website also and link up with their podcast, because their podcast is on there, the Real Pink, and you can see the podcast that I did as it relates to metastatic breast cancer. So I'm excited about what is going to happen with this. My son pouring into me, but I will restore you to health and heal your wounds, and declares the Lord. Amen, son. Amen. Shout out to Tasha. Yes, I am excited about introducing my 2 books to you, and it will be sold as a set. So you can pre-order. We're going to do some pre-ordering for those books. Next month, we'll be promoting those next month on my Facebook page as well as my Instagram pages. So you'll be able to see it there. I hate to see you go, but self-care is the most important thing right now. Completely understand. Yes, absolutely, honey. It's been one of the things that's been the most difficult in this process, is deciding of what things I want to let go, which is not happening for me right now, versus some things that I can continue to hold on to. And God is blessing me right now in terms of the advocacy side of things. So I'm excited about where my life will lead me to that while in the midst of clinical trials. I will definitely let you know what we're going to do pre-ordering, sis. I can tell you that it will be in March that we will start the pre-orders for both of the books at the same time. And then if you don't have Walking on an Unpaved Road, you can actually order those 3 as a set, one bundle price, or you can do the 2 books or the one singular book of each if you want to do it that way. But we will be announcing that definitely come next month. So you'll just hang on for details for that. That will be the only thing that you will see me post regularly on social media, will be things about the book. In terms of anything related to Healing as Joy Speaks, you're not going to see too much of that right now until I can kind of get on track and get all these things kind of organized in my life right now. I just want to send huge thank yous to everyone, like I said, who has prayed for me, who has reached out to me, who has done something tangible for me. Thank you for your love. Thank you for just being there for me and being there and showing up for my family. I am grateful. I'm grateful for what you all do for me, for my family. I'm grateful for those that have just taken a moment to just not necessarily ask me a bunch of questions, but just to say, what do you need? How can we be of support to you? Here's my wife. I gotta have mine's autograph, please, and thank you, my celebrity. I'm not a celebrity. Stop saying that. But I just want to say how much in gratitude I am to all of those that have supported me along this journey, along this way. I know I've done several things, had my hands touched in several things, and for the community people who have shown up for me, you know who you are. Shout out to you, because you are amazing. You're simply amazing. But I am going to take a step back and do self-preservation and love on me and do what is good for me, because it is time. It's time that I do that right now. Anyway, I am at 24 minutes, so I'm going to stop running my mouth. If you have any additional questions, I will hang out for an additional maybe 2 minutes. If you have any other questions that you want to ask related to clinical trials, as it relates to my health and wellness, as it relates to life in general, if you have any questions, I'll hang around for 2 minutes. You can ask those questions in the box. Otherwise, I'll just be honest, I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Because I am going to be taking care of thyself. That's what I'm going to be doing. When am I coming to get AJ? Let me go back. See, when am I coming to get AJ? I am coming to get my AJ in July. I ain't coming sooner than that. So I'll see you in July, AJ. And me and you gonna go get some Jeremiahs together without your mama. That's what we gonna go do. Uh, as the wife asked the question, how am I holding up? I emotionally am good right now. Um, physically, it's hit or miss. Can we go with that? It's hit or miss. Today, physically, I feel great. I'm achy, but that's because I had a whole treatment yesterday. Um, but if I'm being honest, if the only thing I could complain about is sleepiness, then that's going to be the only thing I could complain about because honestly, I'm doing well, all things considered. I'm going to go back up to the top. This is my little girl. Self care is just as important. Thank you, and it is and has been to my life. It has been the most important, most crucial thing to my life. My self care in terms of my emotional, mental, physical. Shout out to my cousin. Thank you. And thank you. I got to get in contact with you. I'm going to, as soon as this is over, I'm going to take a minute and then I'm going to call you because I appreciate what you did for me and the family. So thank you for that. Um, but I'm just in a space of self wellness right now. I'm in a space of self care right now. Um, but obviously, for the people that orbit around me, I'm present. I'm ever present. So it's never like I'm just gone away and I'm just poof be gone. I'm not poof be gone, but I am doing a lot more internal self care for me. So, do you have any other questions for anybody? I just got a text message, so I am going to read that text message. Shout out to my cousin for holding me accountable. I will be doing a book signing on July the 18th. I will say that that book signing, it's gonna be a two-part series book signing. We're gonna be doing some actual physical book signing, and then we're gonna be also doing an invite party only. So the invite party only, if you're getting an invitation for that, that's a little bit specific. But we're going to be doing a book signing early in the earlier portion of that day over in Stockbridge, and I will release that information as it comes closer to June. So you will get that information as it relates to the book signing. So stay tuned if you're willing to get your book signed, autographed in July. That's when we'll do that. I'm lifting you up during the healing season. God sees your strength even on days when you feel tired. Trust that this is not trust that this time is not a setback, but a setup for a restoration. You better pour into me. Be gentle with yourself and move at the pace that your body and heart need. You are covered, you are loved, and you will come out of this stronger. Thank you, Tasha. You will not make me cry on social media. I will not ugly cry today. I have managed to keep it together. So you will not make me ugly cry in front of these people today. I'm not doing it. But thank you so much. Your words mean a lot to me um, because it is a lot. And, like I said, shout out to all those that do this journey. We do this journey and we have to still be parents. We still have to be spouses. We still have to be business owners. We still have to be all the many hats that we wear. But what I'm grateful for and what I'm thankful for is that, I have a community of people that love on me. I I am loved beyond measure. I know that's right, Sean. She better say it for real. Um, but I tell people I have the best family in the world, and that doesn't necessarily mean blood biological either. The people that surround me, that orbit around me, they're real ones. And so I just want to say thank you to all of you all. If there are no more questions, if all hearts and minds are free and clear, I'm going to log off because it is time for me to go and rest and restore to do exactly what I'm going to be doing in this season of my life. I will be praying for you as I hope that you pray for me continuously throughout this journey because this journey is rough and tumble. Do you have an Amazon wish list? I do not at this point because my family, shout out to them. I gave them a list of things that I knew that I needed, and within 24 hours, that list was satisfied. So now I don't have a need for those things. One thing I will tell you is one thing we're always in need of around these parts and I'm going to look at my wife as I'm looking at my wife. We're always in need of like Lysol. We're always in need of like hand sanitizer. We're always in need of, I had one and lost it. Hmm. Me specifically. Um, but I will, maybe I might have her put a list together and see if she'll do that. I don't, we're both kind of, I'm not really tech savvy when it comes to Amazon wish list. Maybe my kids might want to jump on that. If you're still on here, Yuri and Carmen, um, make an Amazon wish list so that we can, if people want to do something, or maybe there's something later on down the line that we think of that might be helpful, useful, we can just put it on the list. And that shout out to, see, you see what I'm saying? Surrounded in love, wife, bam, son, bam, it's Carp, daughter, bam. I just love it. I love that I'm surrounded in love. But yes, we will put together a list of some things, that everyday things that we'll need. But the big ticket items, my family came through for me. So shout out to them. I don't even have to worry about a lot of things for a while. Um, anyway, I love you and I mean it. Go and have a great day wherever you are. Go love on your people. Um, love on your people. Love on people. You don't know what someone is going through. Sometimes people get on you sit up here and get mad and you'll say that person gets on my nerves and I don't even understand them, but you don't know what someone is going through. Let me tell you something. Life is hard, y'all. It is hard out there. Have empathy, have compassion for people, because you just never know what someone is going through. Even when they drive you crazy, even when you want to scratch your eyes out of your head, you just don't know what someone is going through. Um, there's a community of people that I know that are around me right now that are struggling, that have cancer like me, who they don't even have a fourth of the support that I have. They don't even have it. And I have a huge community of people. So, your son, the goat, will assist you. Thank you, son. So fun. So, yeah, Tasha, it's just it's hard out here. We're not even just talking about people who have medical conditions. We're talking about in general. It's hard out here for everybody. But when you have a medical condition and you don't have the support, it's even harder. So, go bless somebody today. Go love somebody today. Call somebody today and tell them that they're loved and that they're wanted and that God loves them and that you love them, because we all can need a little bit more love right now. All right. I love you and I mean it. If you need to reach out to me, the best way to do that is through Sean. She has Facebook. And if you have her number, you can call her and text her. I'm not giving her number out just because I'm not doing that. But if you have her number, you could text her and DM her directly. Just know, have some patience, because my boo is working full time. So she works full time and she takes care of me and all my needs, and she's taking care of all these other things in real time. So just be patient with her if she doesn't respond to you right away. Okay. You can also reach out to my mom too. She's the next best person outside of Sean that you can reach out to ask how I'm doing, because of course my mom is here full time too. Okay. Love you all. Talk to you really soon. Bye. Show me some love. I love you. I love you. I love y'all. If you have any questions, I'm still be here. I'll answer any questions that you might have. Otherwise, you can go enjoy your beautiful day. Love you, family. Bye, Car. Bye to all of you. Love you, sweetheart. Love you. Love you, and I mean it. Love you, Tosh. Love you, and I mean it. Love you, babe. I'm gonna try not to cry, but I feel like I'm gonna cry. I love you too, son. I'm gonna try, son. Thank you, babe. I love y'all too. All right. Love you.